Hello and welcome. My name is Dawn DeVaz, Integrative Nutrition Coach at Great Turning Healing Center. With me today is licensed acupuncturist and functional medicine practitioner Susanna Freeman, creator of the Guide to Wellness podcast and school. This year, Susanna and I are working together to bring you Spring Up, a seasonal renewal. And I will be turning the floor over to Susanna so she can teach us a little bit about the science and philosophy behind renewal and detoxification, as well as her practice and experienced approach she's bringing to Spring Up. Take it away, Susanna.
Thanks, Dawn. Sure, appreciate it. So we're here to do a little sneak peek on what spring renewal programs look like and to invite you to come join us. I want to give you some biomedical background on the why do we need to detoxify, but then also I want to go over, and we'll be bringing Dawn back in here too, to go over sort of what does that look like and how do we simplify this and how do we make it really manageable and doable and supportive for you so you come out the other side feeling really great. So we are going to start with some geeky science. Hang in there. It might be interesting to you. It's something you can refer back to. It's really important to understand the why of health so that then you know what to do next to improve your health. And our goal is that you have health independence, which means that you know how to do this on your own from now on. Okay, so there we go. So why are we here? Each spring, we look forward towards renewal in the natural world and in our health. And this year, we put together some of our favorite programs to reset and renew the body. In particular, we're going to be talking about the liver and the gut. So let's focus on the liver first. The liver in biomedicine is seen more like a factory than really a traffic cop. It has a hand in processing and packaging just about everything that goes into your body, making it safer and more palatable for less specialized cell metabolism. Hopefully that makes sense. The liver breaks things down. In Chinese medicine, we talk about the smooth flow of qi through the liver system so that we feel better, smoother, have more access to a flow state. Okay, so that's the liver system. In this way, it does adopt some of the roles of the spleen system from Chinese medicine. And if you listen to our podcast recently, we're going to be talking in depth about the liver, the spleen, and the spring. So check out our podcast, please. It has a lot of really great information on how detoxification and springtime and seasonal renewal all come together. Okay, so you'll be hearing, because we're acupuncturists, a lot about Chinese medicine. Okay, so the spleen system has a lot to do with the gut, and it has to do with how do we process food into blood and energy. Much of the functions that we talked about in the previous slide. Also, bile, I want you to keep in mind, is a very interesting substance. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. It's what makes your poop brown, all right? And using the factory analogy from the liver, it is in some ways the industrial waste of the liver, but rather than being the toxic waste, it's a vital part of the digestive process, aiding the breakdown of fats from your food and helping to change the acidity that the stomach prefers to an alkaline pH that's preferable in the small intestine. So the gut consists of the stomach, the small and the large intestines, and there's some significant supporting structures on the body side of this internal tube, like the liver, the pancreas, and the enteric nervous system. So when you come to our course, you're going to be learning in more detail about what are all these systems, these organs, these tissues, these functions, and what does it all mean to being healthy and vital and being happy in your body, okay? So don't forget, there's also all these supportive critters on the food side of the intestines, and those make up your microbiome. We'll be talking about that as well. And all of these work together to perform the duties on this slide, the functions of the liver and the functions of the gut. And it's an astonishing list, isn't it? The gut and the liver are doing so much for us every day. And in the spring, we like to ask how we can give a little bit back to these amazing structures. Okay. At Great Turning Healing Center, we combine our experience with traditional Chinese medicine and modern functional medicine to provide a careful and a guided experience for gut and liver support. And this is what makes our clinic different. Combining what we know about the liver and the spleen in traditional Chinese medicine with the Western functions of the liver and the overall gut, spring is a perfect time to do a health reset and to improve the foundations of our health. All right, we'll go into more detail now and also in the course. So, understanding the foundations of health, the importance of the gut and the liver. As we have already introduced, they are critical. And one of the ways that I like to think about it is with this quote: if there's one thing to know about the human body, it's this: the human body has a ringmaster. This ringmaster controls your digestion, your immunity, your brain, your weight, your health, and even your happiness. And this ringmaster is the gut. That's from Nancy Mears. She wrote children's books, but I think this is great for people of all ages. And I love to see that there are thinkers all over the world who are really understanding how the gut and the brain and all of how it influences our mood and our well-being and our immunity. All right, let's geek out. We promised you we would, right? Let's take a closer look at the intestine. These are the healthy, tight junctions in the small intestine. These comprise the intestinal barrier. These are cells that are tightly bound together to keep food particles, pathogens, toxins, etc. inside the intestine. It separates the inside versus the outside world. When these tight cell junctions are damaged by toxins, medications, or inflammation, we may feel symptoms all over the body, especially our energy, our focus, and our well-being. If you've all heard of brain fog, this is one of the ways that we develop this odd thing called brain fog. We'll talk about it more. It's got a funny name. It's very prevalent, and it's real. And there's lots that we can do about by focusing on the gut, believe it or not. Okay, so lots more about solutions. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit more about physiology. So remember these tight cell junctions. They're important. Leaky gut. You've probably all heard of this. We crack jokes about it. The formal name is intestinal permeability. So remember those tight cell junctions. They're bound very, very tightly together, but they're meant to be permeable to allow small molecules across from the lining of the gut into the bloodstream. So this is a normal, healthy gut when those tight cell junctions are about one cell apart and they're allowing just the right size molecules and proteins in particular to pass across into the blood. Permeability and a leaky gut are a very common issue. So stress, toxins, allergenic food particles, drugs, pathogens, and just the malfunctioning of other organs can cause our gut to be leaky, or another way, a more scientific way of saying that is more permeable than ideal. This allows for larger molecules to travel through the intestinal barrier and into the blood, our systemic circulation. This is how we can get this exaggerated immune response, food sensitivity reactions, systemic inflammation, brain fog, and lots more. So this is a long list of things we see in clinic when people have impaired digestion and increased intestinal permeability. It can be difficult to diagnose on your own because it's such a long list, but we have diagnostic tools and treatments that guide you through the repair process. So if you're experiencing any of these, you would greatly benefit from a reset. Let me go over them really quickly. Fatigue, weakness, abdominal pain, bloating, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, asthma, joint pain, headaches, swelling, eczema, acne, anxiety, poor memory, and insomnia. So sound kind of like a drug commercial, right? These are the things that could possibly happen. So they are real and they are very common. If you have one of these, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have intestinal permeability issues, but it's worth checking it out because oftentimes that's part of the underlying picture. Alrighty. So in the spring renewal, this springtime renewal program that we have that we call Spring Up, it's a program that's specifically designed to support the systems that when they're out of balance lead to symptoms like this. We also do our best to work to get to the root of the issue for you. That's the gut. The other thing we need to understand is the liver, and we'll get into lots more detail on the course so that you understand how to take care of your liver and your gut. But for a brief look at it for now, This is the powerhouse in our body that processes and aids in the distribution of most of what we put into our bodies. This list looks pretty scary, and it kind of is. Chemicals, heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, leaky gut, chronic inflammation, stress, and highly refined diets. But the good news is that with a little bit of education and understanding, you can see that most of these factors are simply toxins that your liver is dealing with. This is where we get the idea of a toxic load. And here's something to consider. A glass of wine is something that the liver needs to deal with. But if the liver is healthy and reasonably supported, then this is not going to be a big deal. But if a glass of wine is drunk from a plastic cup while eating a fast food burger, and you're stressed out from working in a chemical industry job, and you have chronic inflammation, and you're taking medicines to cope, then you might have a leaky gut and you might put your liver over the edge. So there's no escaping putting some amount of stress on the liver. Almost everything you eat needs to be processed to one degree or another. The question is, how do we limit that exposure? Our liver does a really great job at processing what we're exposed to, but it can be overworked. The good news here is that there's lots you can do to support your liver and decrease that load. So we just need to be aware and build up that awareness of what you're putting into your body and how herbs and supplements and lifestyle strategies can help your body move all those processes into a really healthy place, and you can be healthy. So not to worry. I think that's it for the geekiness. I'm sure you'll have questions, and we're going to do a Q&A here next week. So if you have more questions about what this might look like, save those questions, please, and we'll go over them. And in the meantime, I'm going to pass you back to Dawn, and we'll take it to the next step.
All right. Thank you, Susanna. That was really informative. And it can be so confusing for people when they're experiencing distressing symptoms but don't have an explanation. And what you just described affects so many people, and they may not even realize it. So I'm really glad that we're here providing that education and support. So knowing this, here are some simple steps that you can take today to support your gut and liver. And all of these are covered in depth and more during the Spring Up program. So each year, the Environmental Working Group, you'll see them abbreviated as EWG, generates the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 lists. So these show which foods are the most and least contaminated with pesticides, and items on the Dirty Dozen should be purchased organic, whereas the items on the Clean 15 can safely be bought conventionally grown. And of course, I would always suggest washing your produce before consuming it, regardless of its organic or other origins, just to be safe. And here, when we're thinking about the liver and supporting the liver, one of Susanna's favorite wellness habits is drinking some lemon water with salt and just enjoying that as your first morning beverage. And what a great way to start your day and help your body become ready for that detoxification state and get your systems into gear. Other lifestyle habits to adopt are being aware of your toxin exposure and taking preventative measures where you can, to eat a variety of detox supporting foods and shift your home environment to be in alignment with your wellness needs and other goals. So these are all topics that I would be helping our participants to reorient to while meeting for live group coaching during Spring Up. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Susanna.
All right, so how we can help? Good question, right? We've been supporting people with spring renewal and detoxification for many years. I've been, I think I'm probably 30 years into it personally, and every year we do some version of this. It's a lot of fun, actually, and people get better, and it's really cool. So come join us. You can rely along the way on our combined experience to tailor the right program for you, and that's actually really important that we do that. How do we do that? So we use this concept called the 3 T's, which is test, treat, and teach. So with everybody, what we prefer is that we test instead of guessing what is your root cause and what's causing your symptoms. So we do ask for some labs, either from your doctor. If you don't have any that are current, we can order those labs for you. There would be some additional costs with that, so just keep that in mind, the labs cost. We can also work with your doctor, and happy to do that. In some more complex cases, we might want to do further testing. That's why we meet with you ahead of time to make sure that we're coming up with the right program for you. It's all very individually tailored. So you will be working with Dawn on group coaching and learning general broad detoxification strategies as a group individually from the comfort of your own home. You'll also be meeting with us personally, but you will have your own specific program that is designed for you based on your labs and your clinical assessment with us. So test, treat, teach means first we test. Treatment in this case is the supplementation and the lifestyle strategies and tweaking your diet a little bit, making it comfortable. Teaching is learning, teaching, guiding you on how to do this on your own. And then this is something that you can do in the future on your own. We have lots of patients over the years who we've guided in the beginning, and then they just do it on their own. They call us every year, hey, I need my herbs or whatever, or they'll just go do it on their own. So, and you're always welcome to work with us. Alrighty? So, the programs, just briefly, I want to just kind of go over so you have a little sense of what we do here. This really can be tweaked for you in any way that makes sense. So the Prolon 5-day fasting mimicking diet, you still eat, don't worry, but it's only 5 days and it's calorie restricted. There's a lot of science behind it. It is life-changing. People love it, and it's not as hard as you think. So that's just 5 days. It's one of the programs we use for very specific targeted reasons, and we use it quite a bit here at our clinic. The standard process 21-day reset, it's also called their purification program, is well known. People all over the world have been using it for a lot of years. I've used it myself many, many times. It's lovely. It's very much a food-based, just lovely gut and liver support, and people do really well. So it's 21 days. The Apex Repair Vite program is more specific just to gut repair and intestinal barrier support, meaning that leaky gut and intestinal permeability that we had talked about, and readjusting and repairing your microbiome. So it's much simpler. There's not a lot of diet modifications on it, but it's still really powerful and lovely. And for some people, that's exactly what they need. We may have you last longer on the supplements, but you'll still get all the coaching and all of the education along with everybody else. If you have more complexity, more need, or more chronicity in your condition, or maybe some autoimmunity, and you're looking for, or maybe we help you identify that maybe you need something a little more in depth, that's likely going to be a little further testing and the Apex Repair and Clear. This is 30 to 60 days. It's comprehensive. It's still really, really well supported and life-changing. It just goes into a little more details, a little more focus on the immune system. It pulls out all of the common food sensitivities. And again, it's very well supported and something we have a lot of experience with. So that's an option as well, and no problem for us to include this for you. So Spring Up. It's this comprehensive personalized program where you'll receive a detailed review of your blood chemistry labs with myself and our medical supervisor, and we'll share all of that with you so that you understand what's going on in your body. With this information from your labs and our clinical assessment that we'll do with you individually also, we'll direct you to our best recommendation from one of those 4 supplementation programs. Additionally, you'll receive extensive education, seminars, and group coaching, and have a whole library of resources that you can refer back to as long as you want, just to keep up your wellness, like we said. Okay, so you'll have a big library from us when you're done with this. Additionally, you'll be able to schedule a free acupuncture session with our acupuncturist, Jack Schwem. And again, listen to the podcast that came in recently, because he'll get to hear all about Jack and his loveliness and his wisdom and skill in the whole notion of detoxification and how it fits into Chinese medicine. All right. The whole Vitality program is really designed to help you understand detoxification and also to make that personalized to you so this is something that you can use long after the program's completed. All right, I'm going to pass you back to Dawn. She's going to chat about the group coaching.
Thank you again, Susanna. Yes, we have quite the lineup. In regard to coaching, you'll get to meet with me on a weekly basis for group coaching and further education on topics covered in Spring Up. And I'll be there to help you strategize around any difficulties that come up for you, any changes, and I will be there to help provide some avenues for adaptation to your unique lifestyle so that you're walking into this and you're doing this tailored program for you, but you're not just expected to do it alone. You will have support from people who are thinking about the rest of your life and how things are going to change while you're making those healthful shifts in your life and in your body. And anyone can do this program, and everyone who does will benefit. So one of the resources that we draw from at the clinic is a standard process, 1 degree of change. And this is the idea that we are sharing an opportunity with you to really reset and renew for the season. And our intention is to provide the education and support that you need to leave the program feeling like you have the ability to do a renewal like this for yourself in the future. And taking a small step, attending to your body and its needs is a small way that can lead to dramatic wellness and amazing improvement. So when you change for the better, that has a ripple effect. You'll notice it. Like you might start making these diet changes and you begin to have less inflammation, or your mood is improved and your energy is improved. And everyone around you is like, oh, I'm picking up on this good feeling, and it starts to ripple out. And in this way, we all make the world a better and healthier place, one step at a time. You are, of course, welcome to take any of the information that we've shared with you today and try to incorporate these changes on your own. Definitely want people to keep moving in the right direction. And if you would like to join us for Spring Up, you can register by contacting the clinic, and then we'll set up a wellness program consultation tailored to your spring reset, where we'll go over your health goals and begin a program evaluation for you. And for more details on Spring Up, you can check out our blog at greatturninghealing.com. All of the details are listed under the blog post of Spring Up as the title. And thank you for listening. So with that, again, I want to leave you with this invitation to join us for Spring Up. It really is a comprehensive education program with one-on-one and group coaching and custom selected supplementation programs that are designed with you in mind. And they're really well researched. So we've got all of the science behind us as well. There's so much this program offers beyond a physical reset, and we would love for you to join us. The base cost is $789. With more complex cases, we might need to do labs, but you're welcome to bring in labs if you have them already from your doctor, preferably within the last 6 months. And we'll get to work with you understanding your background and medical history as well. So again, you can view the details on the blog at greatturninghealing.com. And thank you for learning with us today. Now it's time for you to decide, are you ready to renew and reset and revitalize your health and wellness? Because I am. Thanks, guys. Bye.